Hi, welcome, bienvenidos. It's your girl Yesi, and I'm back with another video. For today's video, I wanted to try the new face palette from Natasha Denona, which is the Love Face Palette. Now, this isn't something new. It came out a while ago. Actually, it was released accidentally, I think, through this vendor from overseas, just I think before Valentine's Day, and a lot of people were able to get their hands on it and they reviewed it. But Natasha Denona herself didn't release this palette till maybe like the last week of February, and she considers this palette a spring palette, which had a lot of people confused because they thought this was going to be for Valentine's Day, because every Valentine's for the past, I don't know, 3 years, she's come out with a similar color scheme for Valentine's Day. So yeah, but that's a little, I guess, history behind this palette. But even though it came out at whatever time, I still wanted to, try it out for myself. Now, I've heard mixed reviews from the palette, saying that the blush in the palette is too light or too cool tone. So I don't know, I hope it works. But yeah, I was able to get my palette from Ulta because Ulta now carries Natasha Denona, which is amazing. Now I can use my points. So yeah, anyways, that was a long introduction. But yeah, if you're interested to see what I come up with, then just keep on watching. Alrighty, amigas, besties. So like I mentioned, we're going to be trying the Natasha Denona Love Face Palette. This is the unicorn right here. It's like a frosted pink palette. Back here it gives you the names of the eyeshadows and the ingredients of all the eyeshadows in the palette. Now this is what the eyeshadow palette looks like. As you can see, it has that packaging where you're gonna leave your fingerprints on it, so you're gonna constantly have to clean your palette. But it's similar to the other face palettes. I have the other face palette that she came out with maybe a year ago or two. I have it in light, so I was excited to add this edition. But yeah, if you haven't seen, which I'm sure you have, this is what the eyeshadow palette looks like. So as you can see, these palettes are right up my alley. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and start with the look. I'm not sure what I'm going for, but we'll see. Alrighty, so before we get into that though, as always, I already did my eyebrows with nothing new. I used the Anastasia Brow Wiz and the Dual Powder, both in the shade Ebony. I used the Brow Wiz to outline the eyebrows, and then I used the Dual Powder to fill them in. That's just what works for me. And then I use MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. I use this to carve the bottom of my eyebrows and then to prime the lids. This is amazing. And then of course, because nobody wants crusty lips, I've used the Lunar Beauty lip oil. This is in Dare Me. Now as you can see, I'm almost out, which is so exciting. I don't think I've ever finished the lip product, but that product is so amazing. But I have backups. Well, I bought the bundle, so with the bundle there was 2 more. So yeah, that's why I said I have a backup. But anyways, now let's get into the eyeshadow palette. So I'm not gonna set it because This primer is amazing whether you set or not. It kind of sets on its own. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just start with Juliet. Yeah, I'm going to start with Juliet, which is this nice pale pink. And I'm just going to see what it does. And I'm going to grab a smaller blush just so I can keep my palette on the table. So as you can see, it's a really light pink. And I'm just using this in my transition. It's going to help, you know, my blend the other shades I'm going to be using. Now I'm going to go into the shade Giddy, which is this like neutral pink shade right here. And I'm just going to apply that in the crease as well. I want to see if it brings some dimension to the look. The other pink shade is a little bit too light for my liking. But these two are beautiful. Alrighty, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a tapered blending brush. This is the Morphe times Jaclyn Hill JH33. And I'm going to go into the shade called Esme, which is this nice like berry pink shade. And I'm going to use that in the outer part of the crease. And it's really pigmented. I'm going to use it out here. I want to use all the shades since there's not many. That is such a beautiful pink. And honestly, I agree. This palette should have been released in or before Valentine's Day. I think it would have been perfect. But I mean, we have all these shades in our collection. So if you're wondering if you should have this palette, you don't. I'm sure if you have her other Natasha Denona Love palettes, then you most likely already have these shades, or similar shades I should say, in those palettes. Something similar. So I'm gonna go back with my blending brush, which I'm not sure if I said it, but this is the Morphe MM5. This was part of the Mickey and Friends collection. I love that brush set. And I'm just gonna run it through the crease. Alrighty, now I'm gonna go into the shade Affinity, which is the only shimmer shade in this palette. But before I do that, if you've been watching all my videos, you know I like to go in with some type of a glitter glue. So I have this on hand. This is the McGrath Labs IntensifEYES Artistry wand. I just think that a glitter glue helps with the eyeshadow, with how long it stays on your lid, and also fallout. And yeah, I'm just used to using something like this. But like I said, if you're not, you can skip this step and just go ahead and apply your shimmer shade. Now I usually go in with my finger, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. So like again, I'm gonna go in with the shade Affinity, which is the only shimmer in the palette, and with my ring finger, I'm just gonna apply it right here. Such a pretty shade, oh my goodness. I'll probably use a smaller brush to, you know, perfect the edges, since, you know, my finger not the best for getting in those corners. Alrighty, so now I'm gonna grab this Dream Eye Perfector. This is from the Sigma Times Beauty Bird collection, and I'm gonna go in with the Affinity shade, and I'm gonna use it to you know, fix the edges right along here. this is what that shade looks like. It's really pretty, really, really pretty. Now I'm going to go back in with the JH33 brush and with no additional product, and I'm just going to blend that berry shade into the Affinity shimmer shade. Make sure that they blend nicely together. I'm just using whatever it has on the lid, but if you feel like you need to, you know, dip back into the palette, you may do so. Depends on how you like your eyeshadow. Alrighty, now I'm gonna go back in with my blending brush, no additional product, and I'm just gonna blend the edges so it looks like we did a cut crease, but we really didn't. Even though we really didn't. Okay, alrighty, and now I think this looks really nice, but I want to use that purple, and I think I'm just gonna use it to do a liner. So alright, so I'm gonna go into this Morphe MM6. This is a flat shader brush, and I'm gonna go in, as you can see, I'm gonna go in with this type of brush into Ico, which is this purple eggplant color right here, and I'm gonna use that shade to just basically do like a liner type of style, but I'm gonna do it only, I'm not gonna wing it out, I'm just gonna stamp it up right above here so it helps blend with our lashes. So this is basically the look. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna do my my base, and then I'm gonna come back in to show you the blush and the highlighter, which I think I'm just gonna come back without powdering my face, just because I've heard mixed reviews on the blush saying you have to use it before you set the face. So I think that's what I'm going to do, and then we'll just finish the look from there. So stay tuned. Alrighty, so I did the base. I added all my cream products, foundation, concealer. So now I'm going to go into the blush in this palette, which is right here, and it's just called Cream Blush. So I'm going to use my e.l.f. Dome Stipple, and I'm just gonna go into the shade Cream Blush, that's what it's called, and I'm not sure how much to get, but I'm just gonna grab this much, smile, and just apply it to the cheeks, to the apples of the cheek. I'm really digging my brush in there so I can grab more of that. It's like a bubblegum pink, kind of. I'm not sure I like this shade. Yeah, I'm not sure I like this very much. But being that I still haven't set my face, maybe I'm able to kind of not hide the color, but maybe once I set it with a powder blush it'll look different, because if I were to leave this on, I definitely don't like it. I don't like the blush shade. I really don't. I see what people are saying. It's too cool tone for me, for my liking, and it has like a sheen to it as well. So I'm not sure. I'm not convinced, but I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, now use all my powder products, and I'll let you know what blush I end up using. But so far I'm not liking this cream blush, and the highlighter is powder, so I can always just show you how I apply that. So I'll be back. Alrighty, amigas. So I'm back, and yeah, I powdered my face. I added the highlighter. As you can see, it is really intense. Like, a little goes a long way. So as you can see, I look like a glazed donut. But yeah, it's really, really intense. So, about this palette, I was able to create such a beautiful eyeshadow, I think. I had no issues with the eyeshadows in this palette. They're really pretty. They're you know, I think this palette would have been perfect for Valentine's Day. I could see it as a spring palette for sure, because all the pinky tones and the vibrancy of the shades. Perfect for spring, right? But the blush shade, I don't think it's a universal shade that everybody can use. I'm not the fairest, but the blush was way too cool tone on my skin tone, and it almost gave it like a cast, and it was kind of shiny. It had like a shine to it, which I don't like. I mean, I don't mind it because I know I powder my cream blushes anyways, and but still, I didn't like that satin. It's very different than the Patrick Ta formula, because his you can apply like the creams over the powders and it gives you like this nice healthy glow. This was, I feel like, too shiny per se, and I have an combination to oily skin type, so I kind of stay away from those because it makes me look like a glazed donut kind of. So yeah, like I really like the eyeshadows and even the highlighter. I don't go this intense on a daily basis. I don't even wear highlighter, to be honest with you, on a daily basis. So this is really, really intense, but you can most definitely go in with a light hand. I used it in the inner corner as well. And yeah, I feel like it, brightens the eye. But that blush though, I'm not sure. I'm convinced. And with it being in the palette, then it's not really a face palette that you're able to use. Like I have it, but if I were to like, travel anywhere and I just wanted to take one kind of like all-in-one palette, this wouldn't be it because the blush doesn't really work on my skin tone. So I would have to pack a different thing. So I don't know. I Besides the eyeshadows and the highlighter, it's good, but I would just say skip out on it. You don't really need it, and honestly, if you have Natasha Denona's other Valentine's Day palettes, then you probably already have all these shades, if not similar, because everybody comes out with these shades during Valentine's Day. So I'm sure you can recreate it from any other eyeshadow palette. But yeah, I mean, they're nice. The shimmer is the only shimmer in this palette is really, really pretty. I don't know what she's doing with these shimmers in the face palettes, but they've all been amazing. I love the one in the other face palette in the light. Amazing. But anyways, yeah, those are my thoughts on the palette, and this is for me just using it this one time. Like I said, it's the eyeshadows and the highlighter are really pretty, but I'm not sure it'd be worth paying almost $80 for that when you can't even use the blush. So, and with the blush, you wear it under your products, but if you don't powder like I do, then I really am not sure if that blush is gonna work on you or anybody else. So I don't know. I guess you would have to maybe swatch it in store to see if that shade would work on you. But yeah, I would just say find these colors in your collection and try to recreate looks using stuff in your collection versus picking up this palette, and it wasn't cheap either. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the palette. Yeah, So that's all for me for today. I really hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.